And good afternoon. Jeff Rimmer along with Bill Davidge. The Blue Jackets week-long development camp coming to an end here today, Bill. And we've got the 4-on-4 scrimmage to, declare an ultimate champion here.
You know what? It's been a great week for the kids, Jeff, and to be able to come in. And we were thinking we might play 3-on-3. But I think what they want to do is get down to that 4-on-4. I think you'll see a little bit more physical contact. The spaces won't be quite as big. But I think now they get an opportunity to show their worth. Should be a lot of fun.
Well, we've got three teams led by former Blue Jacket Gregory Campbell and Team Blue. Team Gray led by, of course, Mr. Clark, who has done a marvelous job as the Jackets player development coach. And he's pretty well got his handle on each and every guy. And, of course, Team Rutu, Team White, will certainly be a formidable group as well. So got a hunch on the team to beat here this afternoon?
You know what? I went up and down the roster, and I knew that you'd ask that question, so no, I don't. Now, I'm not putting my money on any of them. What I want to see is just, at this time, I want to see guys come out and have fun, be able to show their skills, and, it's really more offense than it is defense in a game like this, so should be a lot of fun.
Have you been impressed with what you've seen here this week?
I have. I only had a chance, Jeff, to see Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, we were both involved in corporate settings, corporate outings, and so watching the skills, watching the skating, and then now getting a chance to watch them in a team-type format, then you can start to put a little bit together. But the development camp is for a lot of reasons, and one of them is to be able to come in, learn who you're going to be playing against, playing with in years to come, and it should be some fun for the kids especially.
The thing that impresses me as we get a look at some of the players here is the size of these young men. Players aren't what they used to be. They are big, they are strong, they are superb skaters, and we're going to see a number of them here this afternoon. There's Davidson, who, of course, was a draft pick here just a couple of days ago in Chicago. He may not have that size, but he certainly looks like a skilled player.
Well, when you've got a name like John Davidson, it goes a long way when you're being recruited. And the kid out of Sweden, yes, he was certainly
no relation, though.
No relation at all. Spelled differently, sounds the same, but he was a sixth-round pick by the Jackets in this 2017 draft.
I'm excited to see, in particular, Team Gray, Team Clark, Pierre Luc Du Bois. Obviously, he has certainly shown the Blue Jackets a lot here this week, and certainly did during the playoffs last year in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. But Du Bois also showing us yesterday up in Cleveland that he can throw the baseball.
Yeah, and he's an athlete, and that's what the good thing is. I knew his dad, Eric, who was a heck of a hockey player, played in the International Hockey League when I was scouting for the Detroit Red Wings. I watched his dad play, and he had great sense, good hands, could shoot the puck, and the young man is not that far behind. I mean, you're 19 years old, and watching him from last year to this year has been certainly exciting, and I know there's a lot of big hopes, and I don't think surprises when he can get a chance to show his skills, and as he continues to grow, he's going to be a big factor with this organization for years to come.
Well, it looks like we're going to get a look here at Team White and Team Blue to start it off. Again, Team Blue, coached by Gregory Campbell, who's now part of the Blue Jackets player development. And I'm sure will add something as a former Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah, he looked forward to this week. A little change of venue. When you finish playing the game, you try to find your level. What do you want to do? And Gregory wanted and told everybody around that he wanted to stay in the game of hockey, and he's been able to do that. It's nice to see him being part of the Columbus Blue Jackets for this year.
Well, we've got officials here. This should be fun, 4-on-4, and we are underway.
Well, what you can expect, in a camp like this, Jeff, that they are young kids. There's a lot of nervousness because now when you're in a game situation, you're going against the clock. You're going to see in the first 15 minutes of today, a lot of missed passes, guys being in positions that maybe they shouldn't be, but it's all excitable.
And one of the first players we get a look at on the blue line, jersey number 53, familiar number for him, played in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Gabriel Carlson. And he looks like he's put a little bit of upper body weight on as well. I think he'll be a fixture on the Jackets blue line this fall.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. When you got a guy like Gabe that's, he's 6'4", and still growing into his body, but he showed a lot last year, Jeff. His ability to be able to move the puck, good first pass out of the zone, and was able to read away from the play what was going to be happening, and a bright future for the young man.
Team White deny. There's a nice stop there by Team Blue goaltender, and that is Ivan Kolbakov manning that net for Team Blue. I think the goaltenders have actually looked pretty sharp here.
They have, and you know, every one of those guys have been products of the United States Hockey League, which tells you a little bit about the talent level that the United States are starting to produce here in the Midwest.
Now, for you, as a guy that coached collegiate hockey and, as you said earlier, did a lot of recruiting, this United States Hockey League has been really a godsend for U.S. college hockey.
Well, you know, you go back in time, Jeff, and it was a guy by the name of Gino Gasparini. And Gino was the head coach and really developed North Dakota's program. And then he took a hold of the United States Hockey League and let everybody know what the worth of the league could be, where it's going. And that's where it is today. It's one of the most competitive leagues for young men to be able to join. They get good education. They get an opportunity to play some outstanding hockey.
We'll get a look at Kevlenkas, who is Team White goaltender. Now, this kid was signed as a free agent by the Blue Jackets here, and there were several teams that sought him. I'll tell you what, Jackets are really high on this young man.
And I understand, too, that he's going right to the American Hockey League, you know, going to get an opportunity in camp, and, you know, good for him. But he's still a young kid, 96th birthday.
No score here as we play straight time, first period. Team Gray will be next on the dock. This is a round-robin tournament. We will see shootouts here each and every time. Why don't you explain what the rules are here?
The rules are not very complicated, but pay attention because each team gets a chance to play two 12-minute games. Stoppages on whistles and goals and any pucks out of play, of course. Round robin, if the game ends in a tie, there's going to be a shootout. That'll determine the winner. And then if the three teams are tied after round robin play, they'll send out 5 skaters and have a shootout at that time. So I don't think we're going to get to that point. I think you're going to find a winner here in fast order. Again, we're going to be around for all the games here this afternoon and, you know, give you the play-by-play and hopefully a little bit of color. And there's the first goal.
How about that?
Well, good things happen when you go by the blue of the crease, and that's exactly what happened with that as Joyo picks up a little bit of a rebound, finds the back of the net. Michael Joyo collects the first goal of the game, and the development camp is underway with a 1-0 White lead.
We got the brass sitting in front of us and listening very attentively.
Well,
we're looking for a little bit of insight into these players here.
Always under the scrutiny of management. Here's one guy that
nice
boy,
shot
that
there.
Release?
That was Davidson. No relation to team president
he may want
John
to take
Davidson.
he may want to take exception to that. Anybody named John Davidson can score goals like that. Pretty special. We get a nod.
Draft pick.
Nice job though. Good release.
Very quick. I'm impressed. Jackets have done their homework. Kind of similar stature to a young guy that certainly showed us quite a bit down the stretch, and Oliver Bjorkstrand. Similar body and looks like similar skill.
Well, if he's got the skill of an Oliver Bjorkstrand, he's going to be a heck of a hockey player. Because we know what Oliver brings each and every night. Great hands, the ability to compete, and last year certainly a learning experience for the young man and being able to play in the National Hockey League and finish off the season with the Jackets.
DeRocher on for Davidson, and I'll tell you what, he's got that same type of style here. Oh, nice move off the wall, and what a shot there. Team White dominating here with Bobby McIntyre pulling the trigger, beating goaltender Kolbakov on that short side.
Yeah, Bobby McIntyre out of Whitby and played in the Sioux last year, and he knows where the net is. 28 goals on the year, but look at what short side, and he goes top shelf out high on that blocker. That's a beauty.
Team White 3, Team Blue, coached by Campbell. No score. Here they come with another one off the goal
that
post.
Shot? DeRocher. Good quick release over top of the glove, and tell you what, Team White's got some snipers.
Bird, an earlier draft pick, back again for development camp this year. tell you what, impressed with Team White here, moving the puck out of their zone very quickly and effectively.
Well, Team Blue has not had the puck. Again, there's not much you can do, but you got to try to institute a little bit of a forecheck and stop the onslaught right now, down 3-0, and we're not even 6 minutes into this first period. Again, 2 periods, 12 minutes each.
Collins, jersey number 59, previous draft pick, big kid, and again, product of the U.S. college system.
Yeah, out of the University of Minnesota, he is. This is his 4th development camp, and he's one big boy. And had a chance to finish off last year in Cleveland for a few games, and gets an opportunity here as well. And he'd be one of those guys that would be leading the young guys all week on what to expect, how it was, and that's part of these development camps. You have leadership start to develop, and when you've got young guys that have been there before, you can't be shy. You got to help them out.
Bill, you watch every practice during the course of the season, of course, on the air for every game. One thing that I think we all saw last year for the Blue Jackets was the strength of that blue line. It's really the story of the hockey club. And then you look at these youngsters out here this week with the size and the skill and the skating ability. I tell you, these guys are set for years on that blue line.
Well, you would hope that that's going to be the case. And they've done a nice job. Not only do you have big bodies, but you got big bodies with great skill, the ability to get up ice. They've got good athletic skill. A lot of these guys can do other things other than just play this game. But right now it's in their career to be able to emphasize where they want to go, what they're trying to do. Oh, baby. Here's
big turnover. Nice stop.
Yeah. That's how goaltenders are judged right there. No matter how, just as long as you get the job done.
Carlson stepping up here along the near boards. Glad you've joined us here on the Blue Jackets app as we stream a Florida on 4 tournament here this afternoon. Final day of Blue Jackets development camp. Some of these youngsters will be back for rookie camp, and depending on how things go, perhaps even the main training camp, which will begin in mid-September.
This is so good for the kids, Jeff. And you could go back when both you and I were with the Florida Panthers back in the 90s. We had the first development camp that was ever produced at that time under the guidance of Brian Murray. We had it in Florida, and then we ended up taking half of our group up to Thunder Bay at that time and joined forces with the LA Kings and had one heck of in fact, it was a 10-day camp. And we worked on everything that they do today, the skating, the skills, but also get a chance, too, to go against some of the other players that are out there with other teams. So you watch what it did in the 90s, where it is today, and it's come so far, and it's such a great thing not only for the players, but the organization and the fans included. And this place right now is packed here at Nationwide Arena.
All teams in the National Hockey League now have development camps. You look at the situation here for these kids. Many of them just drafted a couple of days ago on respective teams, and now find themselves wearing the colors of the Blue Jackets and other National Hockey League teams. Very little time wasted. A little disappointing, certainly. Young Abramov, who was a draft pick and had an outstanding season in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. In fact, Abramov was the MVP of the Quebec Major Junior League. Unfortunately, not playing. The Blue Jackets' #1 pick this year. Similarly, out with a shoulder injury, didn't take part in camp. He was drafted in the import draft up in the Canadian Hockey League. Decision to be made here in the days and the weeks to come, whether he goes back to France or perhaps Finland or plays in the Major Junior League in Canada.
I love talking to that kid. I mean, he's not shy of confidence, and that's what you want in a young man. He's only 17 years old, but the question was asked, where do you feel yourself in comparison to hockey in France as a player? He says, I'm the best. That's what you want to hear. You want to have a kid believe in himself. And, it's too bad we didn't get a chance to be able to see his skills, but from what everybody has said, he's a special young man.
Jarmo Kekalainen, who's sitting in front of us, said had they had that first-round draft pick, which they traded to Vegas to maintain the core of the hockey club, that he would have been their first-round pick. And we should point out, not only, as you say, is he a 17-year-old, he was the youngest player selected in the draft. Well,
he came in and was very impressionable when he had a chance to sit down and chat with the media on Monday. And like I say, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, what he does. I know, that the question was asked, what about next year? Where do you go? Do you stay in France? He was thinking about Finland possibly. If not, I know he probably talked with management here. What's the best interest? Where should he go to make himself a better hockey player? And I know those are discussions that they've probably had and will conclude here in the next 10 to 15 days.
We got some close-ups. First, Gabriele, who, as you point out, will likely be playing for Cleveland. The Monsters come the fall, and a real close-up there, former NHLer, not a son, but a relative of the Courtnall family. And of course, Jeff Courtnall and Russ Courtnall, two players that had some pretty outstanding careers in the National Hockey League. Both were adept and both had the ability to score goals. And young Courtnall, who's out of California,
played at Western Michigan last year. First name is Lawton, a 6-footer, and close to 190 pounds. And his first year at Western last year, pretty good numbers for a freshman, and it's what you like to be able to see him continue to build on those offensive skills.
Less than 90 seconds left here in period 1. Again, 2 12-minute periods, 3-0. Team White scoring quickly and building up a 3-0 lead. There will be a third team on the ice here after this game. That will be Team Gray, led by Team Clark. And that'll give us an opportunity to see last year's first-round pick, Pierre Luc Du Bois.
Well, Chris Clark has really enjoyed this week. His ability as the development coach to be able to come in and put a little stamp with the things that he's been able to do, and he's been at it since he's finished playing. Had certainly a remarkable career, one of the leaders of the Washington Capitals, moves on here with the Jackets and was in Calgary for some time, but he's made an impression with a lot of these young kids, and he's one guy that'll tell it like it is. Why? Because he's experienced it, he's lived it, and those are the things that go a long way when you're in this game. What have you felt? What have you been part of? And if you can share that to these young guys and how they can become better hockey players and better people, that's what it's all about.
Team Blue trailing 3-0 here as the final seconds tick off in the opening of the two-period game here, 4-on-4. Team White scoring quickly and effectively early on in this opening period. 3 quick goals, and a couple of them were beauties.
There was a bad one in the bunch, Jeff, and you looked at 2 that went on that high stick side and 1 right up over top of the glove. Again, just good goals overall, no freebies. That's what you like to be able to see in the game. You earn it.
Team Gray making its way out onto the ice here now. Warming up. We're going to get to see homegrown Kyle Sherwood here. Yeah,
you get Pierre Luc Du Bois. He'll be playing. Cole Sherwood will get an opportunity to get on the ice as well. Carson Meyer. How about that story? That, to me, is here's
you know the kid, don't you?
Huh?
You know the kid.
Well, I hadn't met him until this week. I'd watched him play at Miami. I watched him play with Eddie Ginger here in the city. And then I finally went up and introduced him. He says, well, hello, Mr. Davidge. He knew who I was. I told him, I said, you shoot pucks a lot at Miami, don't you? I said, yeah. Well, what do you shoot at? And he says, well, your pitcher's right back behind there up in the stands. He said, I kind of fire him at you if I can. But, no, nice kid, and he's very tickled. The family's excited, being a Columbus Blue Jacket draft, and he's living a dream right now and has had a great week.
Well, if I had to wager on the team to beat in this 4-on-4 tournament, this is the team. Team Gray, we mentioned Dubois. We've got Meyer on this team. Sherwood's on this team. It'll be interesting here. And they've got themselves a big, rangy goaltender.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew Peak as well, as he was not in on Monday. I think he started classes at Notre Dame here this week.
After a pretty good year.
Yeah, he had a great year. The talk around, a good offensive defenseman that sees the ice, good first pass, and had his numbers were pretty good with a good hockey team. 40 games under his belt in college hockey, and he's a young man that I know you watch and you look, and still 3 years of college, and at least give him another couple of years, see how he makes out. But a good offensive defenseman with an upside second to none.
Well, Team Gray has Tomey as their goaltender. Talk about size. He's one big kid. And he'll be going to North Dakota this year. Interesting story about him. Already has an agent, and it's former general manager Doug McLean's son, Clark. How about that?
Like those are called family friends, family advisors.
Oh, is that still?
That's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just in case.
Gotcha. Carlson picking up that puck in the corner, steps behind the net.
Oh, little stovetop stuffing. How about that?
How about that?
Never a bad shot on net. Never a bad one. You hang off on that right side. And the ability to find the space between the post and the pad was there. So 1-0 Blue, and they get it started right away. 23 seconds into this opening period.
Tell you, that Carlson is an impressive kid. Gabriel Carlson, again, coming in off the wing there. He just looks so much at home. As you get a close-up, he throws that puck in front. And I'll tell you what, he was so calm, stepping in after just 3 short games at Cleveland, joining the NHL team, and then playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs against, well, the eventual winner, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, and the comfort level was there, too. I mean, 20 years old, if you can imagine. Stepping in, doing the job, and he thought it really helped his overall, just his psyche, knowing what it's taking when you play against the eventual Stanley Cup champions with the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's what you like to be able to see, you know?
Play deep in Blue territory. 1-0. They lead after falling 3-0 to Team White, coached by Team Ruutu. We're seeing a similar start to the game that we saw in the previous game here, only this time Team Blue keeping the pressure on.
You remember old development camps. Now we're going back 25, 30 years. There was the emphasis on skill, but it was also the emphasis on, if you're a tough guy, you had to show it in development camp even. You guys would be dropping the gloves. That has been unheard of in the last 15 years. But that was what it was like. When you looked at the game, you wanted to find a tough guy to be part of your organization. Where do you do it? You show it right against the guys that you were drafted against. And training camp, that's what the first 3 days were. Just find out who was who.
Well, with all the years you've been in the game, how long before there isn't even a fight?
Yep, and it's, to me, that's the way it should be. And I think, again, you see the game being played right now at a pretty high level. And if there is a fight, it's not staged. It's a situation where you police yourself out there, and that's it. Take care of your superstars.
And Pittsburgh, defending Stanley Cup champions, they did that with the acquisition of former Blues right winger Reeves.
Ryan Reeves.
Team Clark looking for a little bit of pressure on here to tie it up. Less than 10 minutes left. 1-0 on the early goal on a beautiful setup by Gabriel Carlson. Breakaway pass here for Bird. Comes in off the wing.
Right
off
the
goal post.
Good quick release.
Now the other way, O'Neill's shot was blocked. And again, I'm impressed with the size of these kids.
Yeah. Well, they can do anything. You take a look at their vertical leap. You take a look at their max VO2. Take a look at their power, their strength. They measure everything in these young men now, and it's a different time. You got big guys. Back in the 70s, what was the average size in the National Hockey League? It was about 5'10", probably 165, 170 pounds, and now upwards. Jackets last year, 6'2", 208 was their one of the biggest teams in the National Hockey League.
1-0. Less than 9 minutes left here.
You know what I like, Jeff, about the game? Is the little guy is back. You know, you got a lot of players, 5'9", 5 to 6 foot, that can skate, that can handle the puck. They find a role, and a lot of guys, the little guy, they're on the roster for a lot of reasons, and one of them being they've got the ability to produce offense. And look at our own Cam Atkinson in the year that he had. this year. Cam, no bigger than 5'7", but boy, I'll tell you what, put him around the net, you know where it's going to be.
How about the bread man coming over now? We're not talking big size there either.
No.
But skill, and has the ability to bring you out of your seat. He is one of those dynamic players that can bring you out of your seat.
Well, you give up something to get something, and Chicago very happy in being able to get Brandon Saad back under the fold, but I'm kind of excited to see the bread man, Artemi Panarin. Got great feet, good lateral motion, good one-timer, power play guy, never going to hurt you. You get into the game situation, you're on the power play on the backside, watch him release the puck. But he can get up ice as well as anybody in the National Hockey League.
I was going to ask you, how good is the Blue Jackets' power play going to be next year?
Well, they had a great start to last year, and it just slowly fizzled as the year went on. But if they can get that thing back like it had been, they're going to be certainly a lot better than they have. How about Cole Sherwood here right now? Another Columbus boy. The numbers that he put up last year, had a chance to move junior teams, and he had a great year, and he get his opportunity, his first-year pro this year.
Looks like he's really improved his skating.
He's gotten bigger. Both he and Kiefer. Kiefer, his older brother, is at Miami, and I went in to watch him play, and a lot like Cole. Cole's a year and a half younger than Kiefer. But Cole had a great year. Kiefer had an outstanding year, but he worked and he shot and he skated and he worked on his draws, and he's trying to be the best player he can. And Cole is one of those guys as well that does the same thing. Wants to be a pro hockey player.
Well, big part of getting there is the dedication, and these young kids certainly have it.
Anymore, you have to, Jeff. I mean, it's a full year event. You even look at the colleges. These kids now, much like Andrew Peak coming in, was at Notre Dame. He's in school. He's in school. They're working out together.
Another goalpost there in Meyer.
Yeah, Miami just finished 6 weeks. Summer school, working with their youngsters. Now they'll go back and have 6 weeks on their own. They're right back in school again.
Wow.
We'd go back to Canada and work the farm. That's what you did.
Well, the thing with this young Blue Jacket Hockey Club, a lot of the players stay in Columbus that aren't in school and work out with the Jackets training staff with the idea that it's only going to help them in the long run and get them where they want to be, perhaps a little quicker than they would under normal conditions.
Well, that's a great opportunity for them. The Jackets give them that chance to come in early, whether it's a month, whether it's 6 weeks, whether it's a couple of weeks. You get a chance to know the training staff. You get a chance to learn how to work. You're being educated on what it takes to be able to become a professional hockey player. And that's what this camp is all about. It kind of climaxes all those things for not only the drafts, but also the invitees that they've got an eye on for future years, as well as, when you're looking at leagues, you got your East Coast League, American League, you've got to fill them up, and you'll find out a lot about a player in a week, no question.
And give the Jackets training staff a lot of credit. They spend a lot of time here. Nelson Ayotte, of course, the performance coach for the hockey team. And I'll tell you what, these guys are dedicated. They're here year-round, and they're there for these players to work in the off-season. I talked to a couple of them the other day, and I'll tell you what, it benefits them greatly as we get a nice shot there, making it 2-0.
Yep, Scotty Savage, and that was a good quick release by Scott. Just right at the top of the circle, and you get the opportunity and the time. The pro game, you don't have that much time, but right there, he had a little bit of time to get his head up and look. He was at Boston College last year, 5 goals, 24 assists. He had a free agent invite, but finds his worth. If he was recruited by Jerry York at Boston College, well, that's a start. He needs a good eye for talent, and the Jackets get him in here on an invite.
Saw the screen set up and sent it through, beating goaltender Tomey into 2-0 Team Blue lead.
It's the first whistle.
They've been going end to end.
Yeah, a little offside play. A 2-0 Team Campbell lead. Tyler Bird, another one of those dangling big boys that had a chance to watch him. When you're 6'2" and 195 pounds, be able to get around. Played his college hockey at Brown University.
4 minutes and 30 seconds left. We're going to be joined here by the real John Davidson, at least the one that's president of hockey operations here.
You got credit for a goal.
Yeah. Team Blue leading 2-0 here. This is the second game in the round-robin tournament. And a pleasure to welcome President of Hockey Operations, John Davidson.
Hello, gentlemen.
How we doing, JD?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Great. We're talking hockey.
It's always nice, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Nice to see a full house here.
Yeah. Always
great support,
talking
isn't
hockey.
it?
Yeah, always.
What are your thoughts here, John? Development camp coming to a close here with the 4-on-4 tournament. A lot of great young, talented size and skill.
Yeah, it's always good to watch. I enjoy the idea of them coming into Columbus, seeing the organization, some for the first time, getting a chance to work with strength and conditioning people, trying to make it fun for them. And then they play the game here, and you can't put a whole lot of credence into the game itself. I mean, they've had a hard week, but it's hockey. It's great. It's good for them in particular, and the main thing you want is when camp's over that each one of them can leave here saying, you know, I learned something. That's important for their development.
It's been a busy week for those guys, John. In fact, this morning plans were to put them back on the ice again, but they needed a little time off from what they've been through.
Well, they've been through quite a bit. Yesterday, they actually had a day where they were able to go up to Cleveland and do some things as a group, which was really important for them. I've really enjoyed the fact that Chris Clark and the crew have put a pretty good schedule of events for them. Oh, we might have a penalty shot, boys. But the schedule of events for them to be able to go and enjoy themselves as much as anything else. You know, there's the weight room, there's nutrition, there's getting to know each other, there's a couple of hard practices without question. But again, it's all about leaving here knowing you've learned a lot about what it takes to become a real good professional hockey player.
I tell you, a lot of credit should go to the organization too, because how quick we have so many of the kids that were drafted in Chicago on the weekend, and here they are in Columbus and taking part
from
in
all
camp.
over the world.
Right.
You know, and
I mean,
there's immigration, there's this, there's that. They do a great job with it. There's no question. And I think the kids are excited to be able to come in here. It's too bad we've had a couple of kids that ended up injured.
Abramov.
Here's Sherwood on a penalty shot.
There we go. Oh, he had him.
Pretty flexible goalkeeper there. He didn't have him, you guys. Come on, the goalie did his job.
That's a good reaction from an old goaltender, I'll tell you what. He gave it to him. He gave it, took it away.
Give it and taketh. Giveth and taketh.
There's Pierre Luc Du Bois. Show he's got some skill as well, as we get another look here at Sherwood on the penalty shot.
Yeah, he took a good look, went to the backhand. The goalie was aggressive.
Yeah, he got a stick on it maybe.
Yeah, he was real aggressive with a stick.
But how about Cole and how far he has come in the last year?
Remarkable year.
Remarkable to see, isn't it?
Yeah, last season in Flint, he was given a lot of ice time, and he's a big, strong kid, you know.
Dubois to breakaway.
Oh.
Denied.
That's what we want to see is Dubois carrying the puck, making plays. He would have had an assist a little earlier, but his teammate hit the goal post.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here we go. Two-man breakaway.
Oh, Neil off the bench.
What a line change.
A phantom line change.
Phantom. It's going to review. I think we might see a review here.
Team great. Well, Clarkie a little slow on the bench sending him out, but comes at a good time.
Yarmo's already calling the league. He wants to look at that.
Gosh.
But getting back to Sherwood, he's had a good year last year. He's come a long ways. He's a big, strong kid, shoots the puck well, physically strong. And, it looks like the goaltender's been pulled, boys.
They've got some work to do. Well, Team Blue took it on the chin in the first game.
Boy, did they ever. 3 quick goals by Team White.
Yeah.
And they put that game away.
Well, the goaltender with the save on Sherwood, or at least part of it on the penalty shot, and then on Dubois. It's pretty good.
Timing is everything. That's what you want your tender to do.
That's Kulbakov. Ivan Kulbakov.
Icing play there. But we were talking about Abramov with the strep throat. That's too bad that he's not able to play. It's one of those guys you just want to see play. He had well over 100 points last year in the Quebec League, and then the kid Tessier had the shoulder. We can't take a chance. So he's you'd love to have them all out there, but I guess you just can't.
I was telling Jeff and just talking with Tessier, what I like, he's got confidence. He believes in what he can do, where he's going, and how he's going to do it. And is that a sign of not only where he's been and what he's done, John, or is it kind of a family trait?
Well, you know, when you're talented, that's a good way to be.
Yeah.
I've been able to look at a little bit of tape on him, and he's very skilled, really kind of dynamic in the offensive zone. So we're excited about his future. That's down the road, but it's exciting.
Any decision made as to what he'll do next year? Will he go back to Europe?
He was drafted by a team in the Quebec League, Bay Como, and he has an opportunity to go there or else stay in Europe. But not in France. It'll be a different country. So I think he's going to work it out with the people that represent him and do what's best for him, get the proper rehab on the shoulder, then go from there.
Now, will the Blue Jackets guide him in any way?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's got an agent. We have ideas. They'll get together, Yarmo and Bill Zito and Basil McRae, the whole group. They know how to deal with stuff like that. So the key is to get him somewhere that he's going to develop properly and quickly. So that'd be good.
Now, John, the camp comes to a conclusion after the 4-on-4 here tonight. Then what happens after the fact? Do you sit down and talk with every one of these kids?
Yeah, they'll have exit meetings.
And give them an
go
idea
over
what's
what we think of them. You know, the coaches, and there's enough of them here with John Madden and Chris Clark, the whole crew, Manny Legacy and Ian Clark, the goalie coaches. The kids will get individual treatment, and even if they're not going to be with us in the future, they're going to be told what we think they can do to help themselves and what their plans are. That's all good. We look down the road to Traverse City in September, so we'll see some of the kids there. This is it's an ongoing process. It's fun. It's I really enjoy this stuff.
We saw Pierre Luc Du Bois in the last game, and I expect we'll see him here in this next game. What are your thoughts on his development over last year?
Well, he's big. That's one thing I can tell you. He's gotten big. He's big and he's thick. I know in the last half of his last junior season and into the playoffs, he became a dominant player. He's the player the other team had to really look to try to stop, and he carried his team for 3 rounds, I guess it was, and then lost in his last round. So we've seen a lot of good things. Good kid. He's a subtle player sometimes. He's not really what you'd call a flashy, dynamic player, but he's big. He's fast. He has an edge to him. When he gets physical and bumping, he's a very strong man, and we like what we see to this point for sure.
Now the plan is to be able to utilize him in a position as a centerman.
Well, it's either or. You have to go through a camp and Torts, and we'd all love to see him play center, but sometimes you can't rush a person into it. There's a lot of responsibility there, so we'll see how that all goes. He's a kid that he's either going to be with us or else back in junior, and I don't think the junior thing's a good idea with the way that he's progressed. So we'll see where it all goes, and he's either going to be on the wing or at center. He may take a big, long look at both of those positions throughout training camp.
It's amazing the maturity that he's had in this last year. Talking to him last year, looking at him now,
really? Yeah.
He's gone from a boy to a man.
Yeah, you can see that with a lot of young people, how much they change. He actually, at the end of a season, when players leave, no matter what level it is, Cleveland, here, whatever, then they come back 4 or 5 months later. The transformation is unbelievable, unbelievable. And here we are talking about all the youngsters. I can say with our group, the Columbus Blue Jacket group, the way they've been working here this summer to this point, we're almost in the 1st of July. I mean, we're seeing remarkable work here by this group with the strength and conditioning people, and we're very excited about how serious everybody is, how they're training the right way. Some of them are breaking down their bodies and rebuilding them to have more muscle mass but less weight. That's the type of stuff you need. Our game's getting faster every year. Players have to pay attention. It's all been good.
I want to ask you about another young kid that we had the chance to talk to, Chris Clark, Friday night during the draft. And again, as your development coach, he gets to see these guys, spends a lot of time with them. But what about Calvin Turkoff?
Yeah.
He was just raving about Turkoff.
He's a good kid, and if we've studied him for a while now. He's a good player. He's a complete 200-foot player. You always look at kids, and when you scout them, you see how much their coaching staff uses them, and you see how much their coaching staffs use them in certain roles. He played every role. When he played in the World Junior Championships for his team, he was their most talented player, or one of the 2 or 3 most talented players. They used him. I mean, they just kept using him. He's a competitor. He's a thick-bodied kid. He's still very young. In the Western League where he played, he just, everybody was talking about him after they went and scouted. Not only our scouts, but other scouts. So, again, I don't know if I'm going to call him a dynamic player, but he's a pure player. Really shoots the puck well. Knows the game 200 feet from his own end zone all the way down. So, something we'll watch and something we'll work with. And if he ends up in Cleveland, which I think he will, John Madden coaches there. They do a great job, and they know how to teach the game. And they know John Madden won a number of Stanley Cups with New Jersey as one of the best two-way players ever. Not an oversized guy, but he has a demeanor about him, which is really important for teaching these players.
And that's because Johnny was one of those players himself.
Yeah,
when he came out of Michigan, it was hard work and discipline. Yeah. And he's passing on that same message.
He's fought all the way up the ladder ever since he was a kid growing up in Ontario. And he really gets it with these kids. And I think the kids enjoy playing for him because he gets it. You know, and he can pass that on.
Well, your staff did a great job, and the Blue Jackets were the beneficiary of Matis Kivalenkis, the goaltender you signed as a free agent.
Yeah, he's interesting. He set all the numbers in the USHL last year, and it was, I'm trying to think of when it was, but we were able to jump on a plane, fly into Sioux City, and meet with him and his representative, Jay Grossman at the time, and talk and try and figure out where he wanted to go, what the next level was for him that would be the best for him. And he wanted to not go to college and turn pro, and we felt that, man, it's a pretty good idea because of the way he could play. Ian Clark scouted him. He watched tons and tons of tape on the kid. Seems like a mature kid. Still has stuff to learn without question, but it's somebody we found without drafting or trading for that you never know. Could be a heck of a goalie, and he's got a good attitude, and I think he's got a huge amount of talent.
Yeah, not the natural progression for a guy coming out of the USHL, and then next year he'll be facing the best in the American Hockey League.
Yeah, we just sort of hope that's Merry Christmas, right?
That's right. And with goaltenders, John, you never know.
No, you never know.
Stop the puck, that's all.
But this kid's got some talent, real talent, serious talent. He really wants to play, and where he was playing, he won every award he could win. He was a league MVP. Yeah. I mean, that tells you something in that league. Got lots of work, and he's been over here for a number of years, coming from Latvia, and understands the culture, understands the language. So that's nothing that's ahead of him. That's behind him, that part of it all. So we'll see. He'll have good moments, and he'll have potholes to get through, but I think there's something there.
Yeah. I have to ask you about what we saw last week in Las Vegas at the awards night, and just the credit the Blue Jackets as an organization received from around the National Hockey League, and the award winners from Coach John Tortorella, Nick Foligno winning not one but two leadership awards, including the Mark Messier Award, and of course Sergei Bobrovsky named the top goaltender of the National Hockey League based on his performance. That's got to be quite pleasing to you.
And having Werenski in that class was quite remarkable. And that's good. And we like the recognition. People understand who we are and how we've gotten to this point, but we know we've got places to go yet. We've got to win some playoff games. And when you even back that up, we got to get into the playoffs. It's not going to be easy. I know that winning streak last year really set us up, but that's a hard thing to do again, and we'll give it our shot. But teams are improving. We have to improve. I think the Panarin deal will give us somebody with a lot of flexibility and dynamic goal scoring to us. And we'll see where everything else goes. Dubois, we hope, makes the team, but he's got to prove it to John Tortorella. What position, we don't know yet. A lot of good things happening. So, we appreciate the recognition our club and organization got. It's through a lot of hard work, but the nose is still at the grindstone, and it's down there grinding. It's because this league just doesn't stop. You keep going.
And, John, you get 108 points. You go from 70 to 108, and even with 108, that second season wasn't long enough.
No.
So you're not sitting here being content, okay, we got here. You made another move today. A guy that's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah, it's tough.
It was a tough scenario, but something that you have to make with Scotty Hartnell.
Yeah, I've texted with Scotty a few times today. He's a class guy. I really learned to like him. And but sometimes, and he knows it's a business, we know it's a business, things evolve, things change. I mean, being bought out, you don't like that thought. But he's now in a position where he's going to be a free agent. And he can go anywhere that a team wants him. And he'll play, no question. But we look at our club, and we're young still, and we want to keep evolving. And these are just things you have to do. We did it with great people like Jared Boyle. There's another example. And you have to deal with that stuff and move forward. The short series with Pittsburgh is interesting. It was 5 games, but I think Pittsburgh felt it was longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
We played well.
You could see it in their game.
Oh, yeah. We played very well for a good portion of it, but not good enough in other areas. But we learned, which hopefully will be something for us in going forward to help us get to be better next year. Know what we're expecting next year in the playoffs and expect to win and not make some mistakes, whether it be bad penalties or whatever it is. I think that if all goes well, it's a learning experience that our guys went through, and hopefully that'll be a positive thing.
Before we let you go, a lot has been said, a lot has been written locally and nationally about what's ahead here with the start of free agency. I think some of that stuff was taken out of context. Realistically, what are the plans of management?
I think they're realistically is if we do something, whether it's a trade, a free agent, whatever it is, it's going to be something that's going to be important as far as our plan goes in getting better. When you get to a certain level, you've got to make decisions to make you better, make you better, make you better. I don't think there's any intention of our organization to go out and sign a free agent to too much money with too many years. It's not going to make any sense for us. So, I mean, there's been a lot of speculation and talk about us doing this and that and this and that. What happens is you do your research, you do your homework. And if something good happens that we like, we'll do it. If it doesn't, we'll stay exactly the way we are, not waste years, not waste money, because we're already a good team. We've added Panarin. Dubois hopefully will make our club. Our goaltending should be fine, of course, and our defense should be very, very good. So we're not going to panic at anything. And if we improve our team now or July 1st, good. If it takes us till September, October, good. If it's a trade deadline, good. That's just the way it works.
I was going to say, the way things have been set up, come the trading deadline, and the Blue Jackets, we hope, will repeat what they were able to accomplish last year. You'll be in a pretty good position, bargaining-wise, to load up, as we've seen other teams do.
We got to watch our budgets, though, of course, and you may be able to help us there, Jeff.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
Cash cow.
There you go.
How much?
There you go. Jeez, a dust. Oh my goodness.
The check's got $19.94 on it.
Thanks for this, buddy.
Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. Good
Thanks,
chatting with you.
JD. You
Take
bet.
care.
How about that?
It had to be a parting shot. Had to be a parting shot.
Well, for the years that you guys were together, that's what it's all about. You know?
He still tells that story that is not true at all about my career. And, of course, it was brought up again here today. Hey, John just left with my phone. Can you believe
Did he
it?
really?
Yeah.
He'll be back. You've got it locked up, too, I think.
He's going to get all those scoops now. Hey, John, you have my phone. You took my phone.
He couldn't get his wallet.
You got all the scoops. What's that?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Anyway, getting to look at some of the highlights here right now of the second game. Oh. And I'll tell you what, our leader here, Russ Mollahan, is again snagged that third seat. We're
I thought maybe he might be ushering in some more dignitaries here today.
Well, I would hope that he'll be able to get Jarmo Kekalainen to join us here at some point.
Or just look at the brass in front. You got Jarmo, you got Blake Jeffrey on, Billy Zito. Let's get much better than that. Josh Flynn works the numbers. Good to see. And that ice, pretty good. Held up pretty good in that the first 2 games.
It's a beautiful day. I think what we have to do is one-year development camp. Have the camp outdoors. Have that rink across the street.
There you go. Eventually that you'll be able to do that. There is no question. I know they talked about yesterday being able to take these guys up to Cleveland, and Pierre Luc Du Bois was able to throw out the first pitch, and just get a chance to sit in a bus. Here you got a new group of guys, and some of these guys will be together. The other guys, you know, they'll disperse, and but there'll be some of these guys will be back again for training camp. But it's a great week to get a chance to know what it's like, who you can play with, social activities. They learn how to cook. They talk a little bit about everything, and you know, that next step of educating. That's what it's all about.
For sure. How great was it to have John join us here and ask him questions about this club and what the team's plans are here moving forward? Because there's so many stories out there here now about the Blue Jackets, and to get it straight from the president of hockey operations.
Well, you hear fake news. Is that what you're telling me? There's a lot of fake news out there. But, you know, you've got to hear it. And that's why, you know, when you, just like as a scout, if you know, somebody asked me, well, what about this guy they drafted in the 6th round? What do you think of him? I can't give you a comment on him. I could tell you what other people have said about him, but I won't even do that until you get a chance to see yourself. You're not gonna talk about something that you don't know anything about, and that's something that should stay close to your vest. You know, no comment means no comment. How about that little camera picking up every gray hair on both you and I?
That's white.
Yeah, white. We could change that, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about him earlier, but and we didn't get a chance to talk to John. Perhaps if we can get Jarmo Kekalainen or Bill Zito to join us here in a few minutes, we can certainly get his thoughts. The kid that we didn't get a chance to talk to John about that really impressed us last year in the playoffs, and again during this development camp is big Gabriel Carlson.
Yeah.
He just looks so calm and steady out there.
But you know what is so good about all that, Jeff? These kids come from Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, you name it. They all come in and they can all speak English. And years ago, even the Russians today, these young men come over here and spend the better part of a year. And before you know it, look at our own Sergei Bobrovsky and his acceptance speech when he won the Vezina the other night.
Outstanding.
It is, you know, it's something that you take pride in, not only because of, you know, where they are and what they're doing, but where they've come from and where they're going. They're making an effort to be the best person that they can. And under the culture in the game of hockey, they're able to do that. They make effort. The kids make the effort, and that's what you like to be able to see. But Gabriel Carlson, special guy. Special guys, going on 6'5", and remember him taking his gear off last year, and wasn't much to him in the spring. You take a look at him now; he's probably put on about 12 pounds. But when you're that big, that tall, you know it's going to take some time.
I'll never forget his first taste of Stanley Cup playoff action comes against the Penguins, ultimate Stanley Cup champion. Just seeing him, it was an off day, and just went for a walk on my own. I'm coming back to the hotel, and here's Carlson just taking in the sights, walking around, going over to Starbucks, grabbing a coffee, and seeing the better parts of downtown Pittsburgh, if there are any.
Yeah. Well, they've done a nice job downtown there as well, and
yeah,
thanks to Mario Lemieux, they've done a great job.
Great job with the arena.
How about I introduced you to a guy here tonight by the name of, well, it's Peter Stucker, his boy, Robbie, drafted the 7th round, the 2010 pick out of Minnesota, and Robbie Stucker, and good friends with a guy that worked for me back at Miami. We ran the Miami Hockey School, and Eric Douglas coaches up at Toledo St. John's. Good friends with Robbie's dad, Peter, and I know Peter's wife is listening and watching here this afternoon. But the relationships in hockey, they don't go too far. That doesn't fall too far from the tree when you're talking about this person knowing that person. And young Robbie Stucker, good friends with a guy that helped build Miami's hockey program. He's also an assistant coach with Team USA. He's the director of hockey development at Air Force Academy. Steve Miller played with Robbie's dad. They grew up together and played college hockey together, and it was kind of fun listening to Robbie's dad talk about that relationship in itself and how far, again, doesn't fall too far from the tree when you're talking hockey.
Well, for sure. And boy, I'll tell you what, that state of Minnesota, the state of hockey, isn't that the truth? When you think of all the kids that not only this year but in previous years have been drafted and have become part of organizations across the National Hockey League.
Well, I'm so old you can remember really, like during our era when it really took off was in 1980 when the United States won the gold medal, and wasn't that long after I was good friends with Herb Brooks, Herbie's boy, Danny, come in and visited when I was coaching at Miami. Marty Nanny, Lou Nanny's son, part of University of Minnesota. They come in as well, and it was great to be able to watch hockey take off from that point. A team that had no business winning, they won. The end result, they've just done a great job in the state to be able to keep hockey going and it building and building. And it's a state right now, when you think of hockey, it's going in the right direction. There's no question about it at every level, every level.
All right. You, of course, have been here in Ohio, went to Ohio State. Tell me how you and how proud you are and how you've seen hockey grow here in Ohio and Columbus specifically.
I can speak from 1973 until now. And in 1973, there's two rinks, the Fairgrounds and Ohio State. There were two other rinks that went down because it wasn't active. And today, you look at 15, 16 arenas, high school teams, junior teams. It's about as good as it gets.
Well, joining us now, the general manager of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Jarmo Kekalainen. Jarmo, thanks for joining us here. Your impressions of what you've seen so far here?
I've seen some summer hockey.
And young kids too, Jarmo, right?
Yeah.
Being able to watch these young kids and you know what they have and their abilities to be able to impress yourself as well as the rest of the staff.
Well, yeah, but this is not so much about impressing anybody. It's more about learning, and I think they've had a great week with the program full of stuff where they've learned from, and I think they might be a bit exhausted at this point too. We've had full days for them from the morning to the evening of program, but some very educating stuff, and this is just almost more just for entertainment, and hopefully they'll have some fun playing. I mean, we all practiced hockey because we wanted to play, because playing is so much fun, and 4-on-4 is a lot of fun here too, but it's also pretty exhausting when you have small teams or teams that don't have a lot of players on them, and you got to go 3 games straight here, but it's great to see some of these young prospects here, and we're excited.
Are we likely to see at least the kids probably that aren't going to go to college come back for what will be rookie camp in September?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the time when we expected this to look a little bit more like winter hockey. when we're getting close to the training camp time, that's when the guys have to be prepared, and that's when the real competition's on, and it's obviously a completely different look then, and we're evaluating players with completely different eye. But it's good to see the college players here at this time of the year. They won't be able to show up for the main camp or the Traverse City tournament, and we have some exciting prospects in college right now. Andrew Peak on this team here is a guy that we've kept a close eye on and who's made some great strides in his first year at Notre Dame, and hopefully he'll have a good chance to play at the World Junior next year.
Jarmo, tell me a little bit about Kevin Stanlon. Again, I only had a chance to watch him on Monday, and in the short time that they were on the ice, some impressive skills. Kid could shoot the puck. He's a big body, but what are his plans, or what are your plans for him as time moves on?
Well, we signed him. He wants to play one more year in Sweden, and he's a big body that obviously has got some great experience already. He went through the whole playoff experience in Swedish Elite League last year, the SHL, and won the championship with HV71. It was a big part of it too. So he's a little more than a junior player right now. He's played men's game and has played in a very good men's professional league, and wants to play one more year there. But we got him under contract, so as soon as he's done there, he's coming over here.
Jarmo, you have a situation here with a young man that's taking part in this development camp, but boy, was he impressive for the main team last year in that Stanley Cup playoff series against Pittsburgh. Speaking of Gabriel Carlson, and he even looks more impressive here in physical stature than what we saw. And a young man that looked so calm out there, tasting his first Stanley Cup playoff action, coming over from Europe and then playing 3 games in Cleveland before jumping up and playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, the mental strength speaks for his mental, psychological strength. It just seems to play the same way wherever he goes, whether it's going from Swedish Junior League to the Swedish Elite League to World Juniors to American League and NHL. He just plays the game the same way with no fear, not nervous, just plays the game, and that's that's what you want to see. He's obviously got a lot of talent too. He's a great skater with mobility, 6'4" frame that we want to put a little bit more muscle and strength on. But once he fills out, I think he's going to be a good NHL defenseman for a long time.
Oh, yes.
Yarmo, another big boy that you signed in the spring after his collegiate career was done, Sam Vigneault, seems to as well. Looks like he's destined to become a pretty solid pro. Centerman, winger, where's his worth?
No, he's a centerman for sure. He's got another guy. He's another guy with a big frame, 6'5", and played some really good games for us in Cleveland, and had a solid season with Clarkson, and was their best player. Got him signed, and we had our eyes on him for a longer time. He was here last year at the development camp already, and he's a very smart player, good hockey sense and good skills, and he just needs to get a little bit stronger. I think that we have a really good prospect in Sam.
Speaking of Cleveland, is that going to be a young hockey club come the fall, and with looking at players that will graduate from junior in the college ranks? Are we looking at a younger team this year?
No, I think we'll have a good mixture of experience and youth and prospects and guys that will provide the veteran leadership for our young prospects. And I think that's the best recipe. And Bill Zito's on top of it, and I'm sure he'll have as much of the developmental aspect as the winning culture that we want to have in place for those young prospects in mind when he's planning and building that team.
Another player to talk about, young Carson Meyer out Miami University, just finished his freshman year, and certainly made his week being drafted this year. He still has got a smile on his face. A young man that has got some good skill and off to a good start in his collegiate career.
Yeah, that's a great story. Obviously, a local product and a guy that we feel excited about. Great freshman year, as you said. I think he had 26 points in 30 games at Miami of Ohio, or just over 30 games, and off to a great start in his college career. We believe in him as a prospect, and for a guy who's gone through the Blue Jackets program to be able to put on the big team sweater here or a jersey, it's going to be it's exciting for us, and it's exciting for the fans and everybody who's around the youth hockey in Columbus.
What are your impressions in the changes from last year to this year, from your #1 pick last year and Pierre Luc Du Bois?
Well, as I said, I'm not really here evaluating this too closely in June, at the end of June. We'll see in September where he's at compared to last year. I was really happy with his performance in the Quebec League playoffs. He was a man amongst boys there and dominated some of those games and took his team to the league final, where they got outclassed by a team that went to the Memorial Cup. But he's ready to challenge for a spot, and I think he has a chance to make our team better too. And he's physically very mature. Now he just has to come to camp with the mindset that he's going to not only make our team, but make our team better.
Yarmo, these guys are done after tonight, on their way back tomorrow. What does the rest of the summer look like, and what's your involvement right now? Are you going to get a chance to go back home to Finland? Are you going to stick around, or what are your plans?
We'll see. This job never ends. So, but
and then some.
These guys will go back to training with our high performance unit, and some of them will stay here and train. Some will go to their hometowns and train under our program and under our supervision, and that process is the most important. They've learned a lot this week, and they got to keep working.
You have a situation here where the Blue Jackets certainly captured some of the thunder last Friday at the NHL draft with the big trade made earlier in the day. What has been the fallout here over the last few days, and a lot of excitement here locally with certainly a young and dynamic player coming this way, and I think we all can't wait to see him on the Blue Jackets power play, quite frankly, as well as at even strength.
Yeah, we're excited about our Timmy Panarin's joining our team. I think he'll add that element that we were lacking, that we talked about. We're searching, and we can't wait to have him here. And at times I wish it was September already, but hopefully that'll come soon, and we can enjoy a little bit of summer here too.
Have you had a chance to talk to him?
Yes, I have. His agent was in town, and was the interpreter for us. He speaks some English, and his English has improved a lot, but but we were able to talk to him and seem excited about coming to Columbus now. So there's always a little initial shock after you get traded for the first time, but now he seemed very excited to join us.
He kind of tweeted out there that one chapter closes and he's excited about the new chapter in his hockey career and coming to Columbus.
Yeah, he knows we have a good team. I mean, he comes from a good team. He's going to a good team, and you know, that's the way life goes in pro hockey and in the NHL. Sometimes you get traded, and then you get a new start, and life goes on.
Free agency. Any comments on active, not active? Just going to listen.
Oh, nice
Time
goal and
will
breakaway.
tell.
There's that kid Davidson again.
Yeah.
He's
Must
deadly.
be related to John Davidson.
Yeah, we talked about that
Better
earlier.
hands, Jarmo.
Yeah.
Better hands.
Yep.
Couple of goals. Kind of looks and stature like Bjorkstrand.
Yeah, well, he just got drafted. Let him do it. Let's let
Well,
him
I'm not
develop a
comparing.
little
I'm
bit.
just saying, just in stature. I'm not saying he's Oliver Bjorkstrand, who, by the way, I'm hearing is impressive in his offseason conditioning.
Yeah, he's putting in the time here. We're training, working with our group, and making great strides. That's what we want to see.
Well, we enjoy talking to you as always. We'll let you get back and concentrate and enjoy the game. And thank you for not taking my phone, because the president of hockey took my phone with him. I think he was looking for a couple of scoops.
Good luck,
thanks,
Jarmo.
guys.
Thanks.
So here we go. 1-0. And what a beautiful goal.
Good release. You know, you can tell the guys that have got that sense. More times than not, you'll see guys come in and throw it right into the pads, but he looked one way, went back the other way, and ends up beating the goaltender. Nice job.
Tell you what, the intensity's picked up here a little bit in the last few minutes in this game.
What's we talk, you know, they're young guys and they want to play well. There's a little nervousness anytime that you come out and start playing and showing your skills, and you could see it. It's summer hockey.
All right, it's summer hockey, but and we'll take it from your perspective. You were at one time a development coach with the Florida Panther Hockey Club. Of course, you worked with the Detroit Red Wings as well. And we hear Jarmo and John both say, hey, we want these kids to have a learning experience. We're not taking anything too serious, but I'll tell you what.
Hey, this is dead serious for these kids. They'd step on that ice today. They want to perform to their best. That's why I say the first 15 minutes, the nervousness, summer hockey, you can call it what you want, but now it starts to settle down a little bit. You know, the feeling out process becomes, you can run drills, you can shoot pucks, you can do 2-on-1s, but now you got some little one-on-one battles. You know, here you got an odd man rush. You want to be able to do the best you can, and you can start to see the skills just like that.
Nice
Backdoor
goal.
play.
Sherwood takes the
Outstanding.
pass. It was the first pass out of the zone made by Dubois on to Meyer, and then Sherwood makes no mistake to tie it up.
Team Columbus. And you look at Meyer and Sherwood. Excellent job. And again, coming down, look at there. You got his head up, back door, and just takes it off of the back stick of Joyo. Beautiful goal to tie it up at 1.
And again, Dubois, who made just a superb play just moments earlier, coming in off the wing, cutting around the defenseman, only to be stopped by the goaltender here. He makes that clearing pass from his own zone. And, of course, Meyer and Sherwood do the rest.
That is amazing. Just watching Cole right now, and I can still remember watching him as a 12 and a 13-year-old kid going out and doing drills, and all the skill coaches in town had nothing but great things to say about not only his work ethic, but his skills and how he can make himself into a better hockey player. But it has to come from within, and both he and Kiefer, they have that. It's internal. They want to be the best that they can be, and they work at it.
1-1 the score here. A little more than 3 minutes remaining. Oh, nice move there. Ward getting a little bit of a body on the oncoming forward here. There's that Stanlon who you've talked about.
Well, he's under contract with the Jackets, and you heard Jarmo say that he'll go back and play in Sweden this year. And then at the end of the year, they'll decide where to go, what to do, and maybe he comes in if their team is eliminated, comes in and joins Cleveland if they continue to make a playoff run in the spring. So I like what I see from him. You can tell he's got a little bit of just that attitude. When he's got the puck, nobody else does, and he's going to do something with it. and he finds his way to the net as well as anybody.
Score tied, and again, in the case of a tie, we would have a shootout. Oh, nice stop there. And that was Peter Tomey, who's ticketed for North Dakota. Again, we talk about that size. Jackets certainly looking to the future with some outstanding young goaltending talent down the road.
Yeah, and what's remarkable, all out of the United States Hockey League. I don't think that'd be the first in any camp that I've ever watched or been part of. It says a lot about the talent level up that is developing here.
John Davidson, president of hockey, talked in terms of the assets of this hockey club and trying to build a team from within. You look at the goaltenders that they have, and it's those assets down the road. Hey, you can never have too much goaltending because, hey, look what the Jackets did here last week. Forsberg, gone, part of that trade.
And that was really the integral part of that trade, you know. They had to have something go. They inquired about Forsberg, and the end result, here Brendan Saad and Forsberg go one way. We had Tyler Mott, who I'm excited to watch come into camp here in the fall. Tyler Mott played his college hockey at Michigan, and the bread man, Artemi Panarin.
I think he's excited. Mott rejoining his former college teammate here. A nice pass there.
What a
good
save.
Stop.
Boy,
Tomey getting the left pad out for that one.
Peter, nice job. You want to believe it. He stayed right with it.
Dubois back the other way, and puck deflected over top of the net. They're going end to end here. I see much more intensity in this game than in any other game that we've seen played here this afternoon. And there's still more to come. Final minute of play. Tied at 1. Breakaway here. Look at Tomey come out and make the play.
You like the aggressiveness of any goaltender like that, being able to try to make something happen.
Sherwood, who tied it up here a few minutes ago, looking for a pass and perhaps the go-ahead and winning goal here as the seconds tick down.
Okay, here we go. You got 21 seconds left. Stanlon's got the puck. I watched him on Monday come in on some of the drills, and at the top of the circle, right-handed shot, a little drag snap. It looks like he's going one way, goes back the other way, and catches a goaltender, and that's a guy that's been schooled on how to score.
He's impressive, no doubt.
Sure is. Oh, we got a shootout.
There we go.
With a tie score.
Which team will shoot first? Will it be Team Rutu or Team Clark? Team Clark will shoot first.
We'll see if Clarkie's coaching comes in. You know, this is now where you're going against a goaltender. You know, do you go high glove? Do you open them up? You know, that's your goaltending coach should know that stuff, shouldn't they, Rims?
Yoki Hartu will get the shot, comes down that right side. Kivalenka's in goal. Shows patience, and then the left pad save, yes.
Great patience, being able to stay with it. Yoki Yartu.
Well, Jonathan Davidson, a couple of goals here this afternoon. He showed us some skill.
Yep.
A draft in Chicago. Oh, a little stick handling effort there. Tomey gets the leg out there.
Peter says, hey, you know, that's what it's all about. Come out and challenge. And John Davidson tried to pull it back to that backhand, and to no avail. Here we go.
Luc Dubois, you can tell he's a fan favorite here for this big crowd. Dubois, head up, waits, shoots.
Oh.
And sends it wide. All right, here comes Stanlon. Here comes your boy.
Shoot or deke. Shoot or deke.
Tomey back in his net, comes out on the edge of the blue paint. Stanlon slows it down and scores. Little 5-0.
I'll tell you. You know, when you think a move like that, you expect that puck going high. No, he waited long enough for that shoulder to go. The stick goes up and finds the 5-hole. That's the mark of a pretty good scorer.
Cole Sherwood, next shooter.
Be a hero, Cole.
Right-handed shot down the left wing. Fires.
There it is. He got
scores.
it. Yes, he went 5-hole as well. Puck right down on the ice. Nice job by Cole.
Up next, Bobby.
Sam
Vigneault.
out of Clarkson. He was going the same idea, same thing. Nice job there by Peter Thome making that save, but see Sam coming in. Maybe a little quicker, you could put that through, but ran out of speed. Still tied up, moved down the bench.
Little discussion going on.
Well, I think what they want to do, can we send the same guy out again?
This isn't Olympic rules.
Yeah. All right.
Bobby McMahon now.
McMahon, yep.
Down that left side, slows it down, moves in, fires. Way in the Steve.
Haven't seen many guys come in with the speed, you know. You get the speed. Since TJ Oshie and Jonathan Taves, they're masterful shootouts. Everybody slows it down. Here's some speed by McIntyre.
Bobby McIntyre slows it down, tried a little backhand. Thome able to get the pad on it. We remain tied at 1.
Here's Carson Meyer, yep.
How about that? The Columbus product.
Oh, listen to the crowd.
A dream come true. Tweeting out that picture after the draft.
One too many jukes. Juke once, juke twice, and then lost it. But still worth a smile.
May have to go through the order.
Oh, here we go. Right back. Stanlon. Now,
same move.
5-hole.
Same move. Stanlon.
Oh.
Thome holds his ground there. Wasn't going to get beat again.
No, he wasn't. Thome went after he had the poke out there, and
here comes Sherwood again. On Kivalenkas.
Good speed.
Down the right side, moves into the middle.
Oh, he had him too.
The shot. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Puck just off the heel of his stick. Tried to move it to the toe to go elevate it over top of the pad. Again, a nice job. Oh,
top shelf.
Beautiful. Nice move.
Kutkavikas.
To be able to pull it. Forehand, backhand, shelf. Nice job, good hands.
So it will be a situation here where I believe it'll be Team White and Team Blue will ultimately decide this
play for the championship.
Round robin.
Yeah. Now, do they still have the old trophy, I'm wondering? From
I'm
years
sure they do.
past. Yeah, years past. I remember them bringing that out 6 or 7 years ago, and
we'll have to ask Commissioner right here. We got the trophy ready. Russ Mollahan, the commissioner of the tournament, he'll be presenting the cup on the ice. And we look forward to what will be the championship game.
I wonder what the other team has to do that is out. Do they have to be cheerleaders? Do they, they've got to have a job. You got to pay somehow, and I guess we will find out. No clean sheet. They're going right back out and playing again. You know, you get back into this cold rink, and it really isn't that bad in here this afternoon, Jeff. But you know what? When you've got an artificial knee, you can feel it creep up and start to play havoc on your muscles. There's no question.
Well, I don't have artificial knees, but I'm with you. Although I think we're much, it might be the crowd, the fact that we've got a full house here, but it was a lot colder here earlier on in the week.
Well, when you get to, I would guesstimation probably 700 or 800 people in here this afternoon, and a lot of little kids, mom and dad.
Which is great to see.
It is outstanding to see. You'll be able to keep that going, and those are the future ticket holders. You get them involved young, and I like that. What Andrew Castles is doing with the program right now. You're out playing, and you're really pushing it at every level to get involved with it, to learn to play program, and it's great to see. And you're never too young to get started. If you have a young man, a young girl that wants to be able to play, that's what you like to see. Now, I guess we do have we must have a three-way tie.
Ooh, Stanlon.
Our official statistician is still on summer vacation, Jeff. So we're playing it by sound right now. So if that's the case, you must have three teams with the same number of points, because this was one of the criteria. It says if three teams were tied after round robin, each team will send out 5 skaters to
Turk
compete in a shootout. Determine the teams to advance. A winning team will hold a 1-0 advantage over the second place team in the championship game.
He's got some flair, this Turkoff.
Yes, he does. Played in Kelowna last year, as JD was saying, at Western Hockey League and out of Switzerland. 33 goals on the year.
Here comes Gabriel Carlson, the next shooter.
They go right to the big defenseman. Look at the length of the stick.
He's become one of my favorites here. Look at this. Oh, nice effort. Mott Kivalinkas.
Right. Right. Yeah. So these are the two teams. Yeah, these are the two teams right now that will play in the championship team, and the shootout winner will hold a 1-0 advantage over the second place team in the championship game. So you're getting a chance to see not only 4-on-4 hockey, but the skills of the shootout, which is a big part of the game.
Absolutely.
And if that championship games end up in a tie, you got a 5-minute 3-on-3 to determine it. And if it's not determined, then you get right back into a shootout.
Vigneault, again, we talk about size. Look at this guy come down that right side. Yeah. Oh, nice stop.
Well, Jarmo knows a little bit about Clarkson. That's where he ended up playing when he came over from Finland. Spent a better part of 2 years under Bill O'Flaherty at Clarkson College, and Sam Vigneault, the product there as well.
Courtnall denied the blocker pad save made by Kivlenkas. So it remains 1-0.
Final round right now. We'll see if John Davidson can keep it going. I can see what you're saying about Bjorkstrand. He's got the long neck. Got the long neck, head is up, right-handed shot, wiry.
And sends it wide.
Yeah. So that should be it. So it's 1-0 now.
Team Blue, coached by Gregory Campbell, against Team White.
How about that? Gregory Campbell back in and spending some time now also on the player development side of things. And chatted with him the other day, really excited to still be involved in the game. A lot of guys, when they're finished playing, Jeff, they don't know what they want to do. And then they find themselves, they're out for a year, and now it's tough to get back in. Gregory, I think, let everybody know right away, if I can't play, I still want to be part of it.
And there's a hockey family there, of course. Colin Campbell, Vice President of the National Hockey League, Senior Vice President. Does a terrific job alongside Gary Bettman.
Yep.
And Gregory Campbell, growing up around the rink, just a terrific kid. And I'll tell you what, his leadership skills as a player now will transform into a coach. And tell you what, I think he'll be a good one.
Well, that word experience now comes to the fold as a coach that has been there, and he can pass that on and relay that on to the players that he's going to have an effect with.
His team leading 1-0 here on the march.
Well, we thought Team Gray may get into this championship game, but
didn't make it.
Did not make it.
Thought they were loaded too.
Yeah.
So the team featured some homegrown talent. And of course, Pierre Luc Du Bois. We'll watch this one from the bench.
Yeah, Dubois. Cole Sherwood would not be playing. Carson Meyer as well. Andrew Peak, the offensive defenseman out of Notre Dame, and Peter Tony, the goaltender, on his way to North Dakota next year.
Here's Turkoff down that left wing. centering pass there. And a shot from a sharp angle. Kivlenka's able to get a piece of that and hangs on, but we get a face-off. Calvin Turkov. Again, one of the favorites. You remember we had a chance to talk to Chris Clark Friday night. He just was beaming about Turkov and
Oh, yeah.
the year that he had in the Western Hockey League. McIntyre with a sweeping stop there.
Good active stick. Nice little, some good edge work there, being able to give a little Gretzky curl inside the line.
Speaking of Gretzky, some sad news in the hockey world today.
Man.
Dave Semenko, longtime Edmonton Oiler, kind of ran shotgun for Gretzky, passing away today at the young age of 59 years.
Pancreatic cancer. And I chatted with John Mott. John Mott was out at the fantasy camp and had a chance to spend some time with Dave, and you would never even known that he was sick. He didn't let anybody, he didn't allude to the fact that there was anything wrong. But a man that had really found his way, being able to climb the ladders, and he was Gretzky. He and Marty McSorley were Gretzky's pillars, being able to make sure that when he was on the ice, he was taken care of.
My son, who does some memorabilia work, actually had just a short couple of weeks ago an autograph session with Semenko. And again, as you point out, not a word let on. And in fact, they were trying to make contact with him here in the last week to do some more work.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get a hold of him. That's
let's
tragic news.
Anything that starts with a C, no matter what kind of cancer you have, and we're all trying to find ways of being able to find cures, and each and every day.
You've done a great job yourself there, Bill. We're all
I've been blessed.
happy about that.
I've got good doctors. I've had people, good support, guys like yourself and staff, everybody, prayers and thoughts. And the other thing is your attitude, too. You can't let it defeat you.
And off the wing there.
Good release.
Collins. Would you say this is his 5th development camp?
2014 draft.
Wow.
So 14, 15, 16, 17. This is his 4th.
4th.
But tall boy out of the University of Minnesota. Hey, look at who's here, Rims.
Hey,
my buddy. How are you, partner? Looking good. Yeah, we just did I thought we did an interview with him already.
Hey, Stinger, you got to get ready for the season here. Have you got your own off-season training program?
Hey, I don't care what they say, Stinger. You still look pretty good, buddy. Yeah, you're right.
I think you could use a little off-season program. Sorry. Are you ready to go?
We'll probably be sharing a truck with Stinger, the Red, White, and Boom.
Yes.
Coming up next Monday night.
Nice touch there.
Well, they collapsed the net. Team White now to tie game 1-1. Watch down in front. Good patience with the puck. Good hands. Look at that. That reach by Stanlon. Off of the pad, off the toe, and then down in front of the net. Right defenseman moves in and into the back of the net. Nice job. Nice job right there by Michael Joyo.
So we've got a 1-1 tie, less than 8.5 minutes left here. And again, the intensity picking up. Carlson.
Oh, nice pass.
Look
at that.
Outstanding.
Good save, good position. No rebound given. That's the key on that one right there.
I love watching that kid, Carlson. Wow.
Pretty soft hands for a big man.
And he can move. It's a young man's game now, isn't it?
And that is for sure.
McIntyre, Vigneault, drop pass there. Collins moves in, throws it into the slot, and it was tipped away. Team Blue had the early 1-0 lead courtesy of the initial shootout. Team White's tied it up. We have less than 8 minutes remaining. Glad you've joined us here.
This is good. Hopefully you get a chance to be able to watch no matter where you are. And the nice thing about the web, you don't have to be anywhere. You can be in your car and you'll be able to pick it up and watch it on your mobile device. I know a lot of the players, their mom and dads, are getting an opportunity to watch that. And nice of the Jackets to be able to offer that service.
Blue Jackets looking ahead to the schedule. It was just released here last week. Bill, Jackets will play fewer back-to-back games, and that certainly should help this hockey team.
2 less, I believe, isn't it?
Yep,
We're up to now 17.
Usually they lead the league.
Yeah,
Usually
well, it's 19, and last year I think they were tied. Who was it? Was with Buffalo? Might have had 19 as well, but. John Tortorella doesn't care. Back-to-backs, you got to play the game any way you look at it. That's his idea. Is that no excuses? Do what you have to do. These guys are athletes. They're hockey players.
Jackets have a pretty impressive schedule here this year. They're looking to get off to another good start. That 16-game winning streak certainly set the National Hockey League on its ear. Don't think we'll see that duplicated, but as John Davidson said to us earlier, we'll certainly try.
Yeah, you never say never. I mean, I don't think when you looked at the Stanley Cup playoffs and how it worked out, you lose 3 of your top 4 teams in the first 2 rounds. We can go on and talk a whole century about the playoff structure, but
2 more years.
It was good to see Pittsburgh be able to get through, do what they were able to do. The Jackets gave them. I mean, it was a 5-game series, but it felt. Pittsburgh will be the first to admit it. It felt like a 7-game series. It was heavy hockey, and it was fun to watch and be part of. It was, but they showed a little fatigue at the start of that last round with Nashville, and then your best players start to be your best players. And finding ways to win with Murray in the net and Sidney Crosby and what he was able to do.
Give Nashville a lot of credit. They gave him a pretty good ride, and they lost a couple of key players along the way in Fala and former Blue Jacket Johansson, but the experience and the talent in Pittsburgh displayed, much like in the series against Columbus, came to the fore, no question. But the Jackets will...
Look at Stanlon, this guy...
He's your MVP on the ice here today, isn't he?
He was, when you sit and you watch, and people say, well, what do you look at right away? When your first day on the ice, I watch 2 things. First of all, in their skating, how they're able to handle their edges and how they're able to get up and down the ice, their base of support and how they're skating. And then when they bring the pucks out, what do they do with it when they have it? And the first thing I watched Stanlon, he's got a great reach. He can change the direction of the puck with his reach. You know, toe drag to the heel, pull it off of the inside foot. He showed me, and he did it with authority. You could tell, I think it was Jarmo said that he'd been playing with men, and you can see that he's been playing with men.
Oh, he's a talent, no doubt. Nice pass, quick shot, scores.
What a snipe right there.
That is a beauty.
Yeah, Scotty Savage, again, out of Boston College, played 3 games the end of the year with Cleveland, but shows his ability. That's a couple of goals for Savage today. But a nice quick release over top of that blocker. Here you get a look at it coming in. Look at that pass, Benstrom. And then the release, and it is pinpoint. Up where you put the return address.
And Mom keeps that peanut butter.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-1 score here. Team Blue had the benefit of the 1-0 lead based on the shootout victory. And Scott Savage now with a go-ahead goal here with less than 5 minutes left. In fact, just a little over 4.
Well, Scotty's one of those invites. That's where your scouts have the say to your assistant general manager, your general manager, say, listen, I'd like you to take a look at a guy like this and maybe get him in there. And I guess one of those guys that I remember most is a guy by the name of Danny Boyle. Had an opportunity to come into a camp, and the rest is history. He proved that he could play.
And he was a good one when he was finally given that opportunity. First in Tampa, brief stay in New York with the Rangers, and then pretty good years in San Jose.
And you watch, just remember some of these guys' names. The guys that are they're free agents, they're an invitee. They either have finished their junior career, or they may have just started a college career, giving them an opportunity to come in and show their worth. You've got to fill out a roster.
Some of these kids are gassed here right now. It's been a tough
week. It's been a long week.
It's been tough.
Like I say, they had ice sessions this morning, and it's supposed to take place, was it at 8:30 and then again at 9, and they basically put a kibosh on that and just give them an opportunity to go in and probably had an off-ice workout, a good lunch, and then an opportunity to come out here and play. And look at the rink. It is still full. Around the glass, it is packed.
Carlson coming from that right point. Gabriel with the save. You could tell he's a little gassed there too in goal.
But what an experience for the majority of these guys, being able to come into an NHL camp. Guys that have just been drafted, the experience of the guys that have been here before, and then the invitees just to be able to say that they've been and be part of something like this.
That is Jarmo Kekalainen. Told us a few minutes ago, some of these kids that aren't in college will come back. Some will stay here, in fact, over the summer and then be part of what will be the rookie camp in Traverse City. Ultimately, a few of them could get invites to the main camp prior to the start of the 2017-18 season.
Well, it gets started early this year. Middle of September, first exhibition game. Usually it's a week later, and this year it's up, and it's pretty good. And you see Pittsburgh and Chicago and Nashville on the exhibition circuit. It should be some good hockey to see here come September.
A little over a minute left. 2-1. Team Blue, Gregory Campbell's team, leading Team White. And now the final minute of play. The goaltender is out. Extra attacker is on for Team White.
So who's your MVP right now, Jeff?
Well, I'm going to go with your pick. Stanlon has really impressed me. Gabriel Carlson, another. Really, Stanlon has been impressive. Yeah, so how about a top defenseman and a top forward?
Yeah. Well, going down the list, again, Carlson, I thought, moved the puck well. He did an excellent job, and I'll go Stanlon as well. And all three goaltenders, they got sniped. There wasn't many, not many gifts. And here you talk about summer hockey, and that's usually what happens is there's a lot of gifts. There were not, guys earned what they had today.
For sure. Been a great experience for them, too. But we still have 58.6 seconds remaining. Extra attacker out for Team White. Stanlon. Davidson has had a pretty good afternoon, too.
Well, I know what Team Campbell, what Gregory Campbell's saying right now. It all starts with the face-off win. That's where he was his best. Fourth line centerman. Dig it in. And again, give him no shooting lanes. Take away. Good active stick. Lost the face-off. Gregory wouldn't be happy with that.
Team White with the puck here. Less than 50 seconds remain. 6 skaters on. The net is empty. Play along the near boards and the puck fired downward to Roche. Will gather it up. Davidson scoots through the neutral zone. Stanley trails.
Look at the neutral. The gap closed at the blue line. Nice job. Wouldn't allow that initial pass to get out of the zone.
Puck tossed to the point. Collins wants it. Right-handed shot waiting on the left point. Shot from a distance off the crossbar.
McIntyre, did he let that thing go?
Just
Bobby McIntyre played
Under
with the Sioux.
the glove and off the crossbar.
Nice release.
10 seconds remaining. Collins, pressure. Team Blue comes up with it. Walks it to the line. And that should pretty well do it.
That is it.
Gregory Campbell, Team Blue, winning the 4-on-4 tournament here at the OhioHealth Ice Haus. Where's the trophy? Commissioner still sitting here at the desk.
The director of broadcasting, Russ Mollahan, is on his way now to go down and get that trophy and have it paraded around the ice house right now.
I would have thought that the commissioner would have already been down at ice level and have it all together. Well, that concludes our streaming. Good job, Bill.
You too.
And
didn't miss a beat, Rims. Right on top of it.
Team Campbell, Team Blue, victorious over Team White. 2-1 the final. Thanks for joining us. And we all look forward to training camp in September.
It'll be here before we know it. Oh, there it is. There. Yeah, Russ got the trophy.
Yes, yeah.
Nice job, Russ.
Is that Russ done? Oh no, that's Stinger. I thought it was Russ for a minute.
That's his second job. Nice job.
Gabriel Carlson.
Yes.
With the Stinger trophy.
Well, the boys will be drinking protein shakes tonight.
And that'll wrap it up for us here this afternoon at the OhioHealth Ice Haus. Thanks for joining us. For Bill Davidge, I'm Jeff Rimmer. Have a great weekend, and happy 4th of July.